It's Ruben, everybody. So, you know, what I want to say is, I've been, you know, I play at home so much. I just sit in front of the TV. I love watching TV, man. Oh God, I love it. I love, you know, you know, I love just sitting and watching TV, and I have a little amp, you know, that I use, and it's just, and I swear to God, I'm not like saying, hey guys, what's up? But I use this Fender FM25 amp, and it's just what I got used to because I play at home so much, and it sits under my table, and I just sit in there and play. And Fender said, you want to do a clinic? And I was like, yeah, if I can do it with this FM25 amp. And it's like this little amp, and I use it in the studio and all that stuff, and it sounds, I mean, it sounds killer. It's just, that's what I've been using for a lot of my recordings and stuff. And it's so cheap, you can get it for like nothing. And then I also record with this Squire, and it's a Squire, it's $200, you know, you can't even get a nice meal for $200. And you know, it really, it's great because it has like a different tone to it, you know. $200, and they're, you know, they're selling them, so go pick them up, because I'll probably go pick one up. I need a different color. Any questions out there?
Yeah, right over here to your right. Holding up the poster.
Yes.
Hi. 2 questions. Every time that I see you, you're holding the guitar. You know, I just wanted to see how many hours you put in a day practicing, and also, you use a lot of chromaticism.
Yes.
When you play. I was wondering, like, when you find is the best time to use chromaticism.
Well, I think, you know, I love all the probably players you love. You know, someone said Yngwie, I love Paul Gilbert, and I love all those guys. You know, I love those guys. But what I like to do is when I started doing instrumental stuff, I like to play. I didn't want to sound like them because always, when I was growing up, I always read these interviews, and they were always like, I'll show you how to do this, but don't sound like me, do it a little different. So I always, you know, I always listened to what people said that have done it. You know, I know it's kind of corny, listen, you know, to people because they know what they're talking about, but I always listened. So I always was like, okay, well, I'm going to learn this kind of lick, but I'm going to turn it into something a little different. And I'm a little odd and stuff, so I like to play things a little, you know, out of the box. And I think that's one of the, you know, when I was doing this, I was like, what's like the most crazy thing I can do? Because, you know, everyone plays fast and all that stuff, but what's like the craziest thing I can do? Well, I can play a bunch of like weird country stuff in the middle of these metal tunes and stuff. And so, you know, yeah, and I like to do those kind of like runs and scales and stuff in these songs. And I love using chromatic, you know, and like, you know, total chromatic, you know, it's so badass. And I love to use flat fives too, because flat fives, I know it's getting technical, and the girls are like, oh, he's so cute, he's talking about flat fives. But like, flat fives are so evil sounding. You know, it sounds so evil, and that's kind of the scales I use. I put some flat fives in there too.
Okay, and real quick, are you a big fan of Brian Setzer and the Stray Cats and all that stuff?
Oh, God. He's awesome. He is awesome. Different styles of music, kids.
A question over here?
Yes, where?
Or
Oh,
No,
hey.
hey. I saw you.
The guy with the black shirt on the tattoo.
Yeah, it stands out so much. Yeah, I first saw you at the Roxy with Rob Halford years ago.
Oh, yeah.
That was great.
Ago.
And how was it working with him? And also, how was it working with David Lee Roth when you did DLR?
With Halford, it was, Halford and Roth were at the same time, and I was touring with Halford, but recording with Roth, and, Rob Halford he was like probably one of the nicest guys ever. He was so cool, and I always thought, God, this guy is so cool and so nice, and I'm like thinking to myself, well, what does this guy have to be pissed off about? I mean, he is one of the greatest vocalists of all times, like that, Rob Halford. And, one of the greatest vocalists of all time, and, he's successful and all that stuff, and he was like the coolest, nicest guy, and I see him, and I say, hey, Halford, and he's just the best, so maybe one day we'll do something again, and, he's just awesome. And with Roth, it's, with David Lee, it was phenomenal. I was like, at my friend Roger's house, and I looked at he was reading that Crazy from the Heat book, and I was like, I wonder what Dave's doing, and, it was when he was doing his Vegas thing, and I was like, man, I'm gonna call up his manager and see if I can submit some songs, and, because I love, that Van Halen stuff, and I knew how to do it, and I just thought, God, man, it'd be cool if someone could write those songs for him and get him out of Vegas prison, so that's what I did, and he liked them, and we recorded the record in like 2 weeks, and we started at 6 in the morning to record because I was rehearsing with Halford. But with Halford we rehearsed from like noon to like 6 in the evening. But Dave was so strong, he was like, nah, I get you first, Halford can wait. So we started recording at 6 in the morning because he wanted me fresh and first. I don't know how fresh I was at 6 in the morning.